Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome to some more Diablo 2. We're in Act 4, man. This is going to be a short one, though. So, as you can see, I've already killed Diablo because, well, I couldn't wait. So that's what we're going to do this video, to show you how to do it in Hell difficulty and how much of a struggle it still is. But let's go ahead and check out our stats. We got some new stuff. I'm at level 82 now. And we've got a nice Razor's Edge. This is not the greatest weapon in the world. It's just an insanely high DPS weapon with some decent open wounds and deadly strike. So I'm keeping it for now. I do have to repair it a lot, which sucks. Still using Rock Stopper, Spirit, Lionheart, String, Wraithhold, Ravenfrost. This is new. I have a laying of hands. I'm about to lay some fucking hands down basically right now. But this is amazing because it also gives you IAS, and it gives you damage to demons, which is really good, and that nice fire res is pretty cool too, I guess. This I need to swap out. This is from something else I was doing, so let me put that back on. There we go. Still using Goblin Toe. I have gotten some new charms. Mainly all these are just life charms, and got a perfect standard life charm, I believe. 40 is the max it can roll up to. It's either 40 or 45. And I think I have another couple of good ones in here. These nice dual res, or sorry, single res ones. Pretty good. So, yeah, we get a little bit of everything in here. I like this. It's pretty cool. I also got these bad boys right here. They're pretty good large charms, so I decided to keep them. And, yeah, nothing in my stash right now, so let's go ahead and look around, see if I've changed anything up. I don't think I have. I just moved these over here. I'm looking to sell these later, but, you know, I don't really need them. So, I have found a damaged phase blade. I need to repair this and get it up to snuff. Probably do that off camera. Still haven't gotten Enigma yet. I kind of lied and hyped it up pretty high, but I got tired of doing it. So, not really too much going on there. I think I have... this Lum rune is pretty nice. I think that's the nicest rune I've gotten in a while. And of course the Gull rune we got on camera. Not too much here has changed since the last I played. I've mainly been doing farming. I rolled a bunch of perfect gems into some charms, trying to get a skiller, but I still haven't gotten a single one. But I think I do have one somewhere. And I'm pretty sure it's a sorceress one, I think? Yeah, it's a lightning sorceress one. And I think that's as good as it's going to get. I mean, the next grand charms are going to get that are good are going to be from Diablo and Bale, so I can finally get some really good charms. These are just going to be rerolled and like probably given to other characters. I got some terror keys, some more terror, turning into George Bush here, and a couple. These are from various mobs when you're farming. I believe this one obviously is from Diablo, as well as I think this is from Mephisto, I'm pretty sure, so it doesn't matter. So I got those, and then I still have to sift through all this damn loot. So I have gotten these off camera like a few hours ago. Get this, excuse me, the Shale rune. You have no idea how unfortunate this was to get. Because I saw a Grand Crown and thought, oh, cool, it's Grand Crown of Ages. No, it's Crown of Thieves. Cool. I mean, it's not bad in its own right, but it's not really what I want. I mean, the ED is great, but it's not really my thing right now. There's only just fire res on it. That's just... The lifesteal's fucking cool, but it's not really justifiable. Got this. Iron Pelt. I've gotten this before in the past. It's okay for starting off. It's not great. And another Butcher's Cleaver, which it's not great, so yeah, that's pretty much it. So we're gonna go ahead and jump on into River of Flame here. Oh, and I forgot to even show this off too. The Rock Stopper, Rock Fleece, Bonehew. Nothing has really changed with our follower at all. He's gonna just strut back and forth, I think. So yeah. Pretty much just going to run Diablo again here. This is not my first time doing it. The only things I didn't show pretty much were... I'm going to turn this down a little bit on my end. It's a little loud. The only things I didn't show is pretty much fighting Hephasto, which you've seen me do before. I didn't get a very good drop from my Soulstone. It was pretty bad. I think it was actually like a... I think it was like a shale rune or something. It was really low, and I wasn't really thrilled with it. So, as you can see, our resistances are fantastic for where we want to be right now at this point in the game. I mean, my damage is okay as well. You can see that this... You can also see that the laying of hands is also causing that little proc to go off every now and then where something shoots through. It's not a huge deal. I mean, it's just okay. It's not really a game breaker. It's just some slightly extra damage. It's not really doing anything special. So, yeah, you can see that the IAS is really good on this weapon. I mean, it's not grief. It's not what I really want. But I wanted to play some Diablo, and I've gotten a lot of TF2 videos up. I'm coming pretty close on the end of all my stocked up videos for Diablo 2. And this is the 28th right now of September, so D2R is already dropped. I'm not really worried about it. I've already published a lot of stuff before this, so... like, yeah. So awesome. So, a little couple of tidbits here, because I'm sure somebody is coming in here, probably maybe from the Diablo 2 Resurrected thing, and they're going, holy shit, this is hard. So, I mean, I expect it to be difficult. I'm not going to say I do this flawlessly either. So, yeah. So, the magic... Excuse me, my god, I just ate dinner a while ago. Still trying to not vomit while I'm doing this. So, yeah, the magic of Chaos Sanctuary and River of Flame in particular is they're both level TC85 areas, meaning they can drop virtually any item in the game, barring a few exclusions. So, that's a pretty big deal, okay? Like, let's just take this into consideration. This is the highest tier loot in the entire game. Anything can drop here from a Zod rune all the way up to like SOJs, which is considered nothing at this point for this loot table that we're dealing with. Grand Charms for skilling, those are just... That's like the one thing that Bale can also drop too. You might want to have some Magic Find to get those. I don't really have very much Magic Find on this character. But we'll get into that when we get there, won't we? This is actually, like I said, going to be a short video because I don't want to die here. That would be nice. Oh, that fucking Bone Spirit. It just follows you forever. You can see I'm really not 100% tanking this yet. I mean, I probably could if I tried, but it's just... Sometimes density's pretty bad, but, you know. So anything can drop in the game right in here. Diablo himself has a lower... At least in Classic, I don't know what they've done for Resurrected, but his loot table is slightly worse than his actual, like, minions you summon to fight him, which is kind of weird. It's only, like, 2 levels or something like that, but basically, it's a pretty big deal. Alright, we're gonna steamroll this place, right? So, to be fair, this is, like, my maybe 10th or so Diablo run here. Not in one sitting, god no, I did like 2 just to get warmed up here for this video. But yeah, I mean, I've already experienced the frustration this area can cause you, so showing off here what a Lawbringer can also do to the table, we can push back these Doom Knights, which, if I'm being 100% honest, this is the one cause of my death as I get hit with Iron Maiden. Or sorry, not Iron Maiden, but Amp Damage or Decrepify, and then these guys gang up on me and they hit me a bunch and I die. That's actually the most common way I've died. I've died a few times to this by now. I probably should have another level, but, you know, I died to some BS. It was... yeah, I'll get into that when we get there. So, Diablo himself is very, very easy. If you've been playing the game properly up to this point, you should be... You know, let's take that Tomb one, because that'll sell for a good chunk. You will be pretty much solid for this. I mean, the worst thing that he can do is his lightning attack, and even then... Oh, Jesus. Perfect timing to go back to town, right? But, yeah, Diablo himself, really not that big of a deal. Like, the worst thing he can do is sneeze on you, okay? He's like... He's just pretty easy stuff, man. You're not going to worry too much about fighting Diablo himself. it's the area to get to him that is way harder every time. So, some advice I can give. The enemies in Chaos Sanctuary are always going to be the same. You're always going to fight Stormcasters, you're always going to fight Doom Knights, and you're always going to fight Venom Lords. You're always going to fight these enemies no matter what difficulty, no matter what map seed, it's always going to be the same. You might have some differences between the left side here, where maybe there's a little bit of a curve, like for the seals, but that's about it. There's really no... Oh, this is a nasty area. Ugh. But, yeah, you're always going to be fighting the same kind of creatures. So you have 2 undead, and then you have 2 demon classes. Actually, sorry, there's 3 undead, right? We got the... No, never mind, don't listen to me. It's 2 undead and 1 demon, so you do have those things to consider when you're going into this. If you have any plus gear that does damage to demons, good job. But unfortunately, your generation can spawn with, like, a situation like this, where it's just a ton of crap that is just spammed into here in, like, this nasty hallway. So if I was playing as, like, a sorceress right now, I would be playing probably with a, you know, probably like a cold source is really good in here, because I think that the knights here are the only ones that have cold immunity. Or sorry, the mages are. Let me check. I haven't actually seen it in a while. I don't really pay attention to it because I don't care. Yeah, it's the mages you have to worry about. So you do have to have a plan for pretty much all your immunities. I've said this before, there is a couple of ways to break immunities, and I've demonstrated it with Lawbringer here. That can break some immunities, but not all of them if they're inherent to the creature. Sorcerers can also get a very high tier rune word that's really high. I mean, any class, but it's very beneficial. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. It's very, very high up there. I think you need like a burr rune in it, I'm pretty sure. I want to say it's called Insight, but I don't think that's the correct thing. I'm thinking of some like old fucking like really ancient thing that I probably used at a job or something. I don't know. So, yeah, you can use that. You can use another class like ability, like an O skill if you have it. I don't know what you would probably do, but basically you can do something cheesy like a Lawbringer like I did. Oh my god, that is a lot of damage. I'm gonna weaken that up a little bit. So yeah, that's another strategy I've been employing as well, is you can do something like this where you can kind of soften them up with that buff from Decrepify. I mean, this is what you do as a Necro, so it's nothing new to me. Except as a Necro, it's not a proc, it's a guarantee. So that's a pretty big chunk of damage I can add onto my DPS as well. Which is why I said it doesn't really matter if your damage is consistent, that's all that matters, but if you don't have good like procs, like Crushing Blow for melee, you're gonna get steamrolled, and this is gonna take so much time. So before you even go into here, farm all over the place. Farm everything until you feel you can comfortably run through this area. I mean, if you've played up to hell in this point, you already know what you're doing, so you're probably gonna be okay. This is no time to be a hero and just run up and try and hit everything in one go. You're not gonna do that. This is one of the most dangerous areas in the entire game. Now keep in mind, this was technically considered the end of the game at one point in time, so this was the hardest shit in the entire thing before Act 5 came out. Which I actually saw this in the new cutscene for the expansion. It actually says Act 5. I'm like, that's kind of cute, I guess. But I don't really care. I have watched all the new Diablo Resurrected cutscenes, and I can say they're pretty much what I expected from Blizzard. They're just high-quality versions. A couple little differences here and there, but not really anything I don't agree with. I mean, the sound effects added here and there were a bit weird, but I mean, if it's your first time seeing them, it's not weird, but like when Bale walks forward and you hear his claws kind of scrape against the like, chair thing, it's like, that's kind of cool. I don't really like his little, like, pose he gives off in that. It's a little, like, too juvenile, but oh well. I'm not really too concerned about it, but yeah, I really did like how they portrayed Bale in the cutscenes. I think everybody and their mother wanted to just see Bale. It's because he was such a detailed-looking monster, and then you didn't really get to see him very well because of how low budget the game's like. Well, I wouldn't say low budget, but low resolution the game used to be. So it's like, oh yeah, cool. Like, I don't know. I thought it was pretty nice. I mean, I like Mephisto's design as well. I mean, some people are like, oh, he looks too much like a skeleton. Ugh. And it's like, dude, really? Is it that big of a fucking deal? Like, it's just, I've actually seen people not like the new Bale design. Like, they're like, it looks stupid. And I'm like, okay, it looks better than what his old design was. His old design was basically a cluttered mess with all one color, so I think it's fine. Like, you can't even tell what he looks like 100% based on his, like, appearance in the cutscene versus the in-game model. And I mean, I have, like, I looked at the renders of it as well, like the, what's it called? Like, the front-facing sprites, Jesus Christ. And the side sprites of it as well, for Diablo, Mephisto, and Bale. And I really like it. I mean, you don't really get to see the backside of Bale. I mean, that's kind of that's the naughty bits. You don't get to see that very often, so it was cool just to see what they did with his design, and I like it. I think I mean, obviously it doesn't matter, because once you go into Nightmare, all the monsters' palettes change. So it's like, yeah, whatever. But I mean, it was still pretty cool. I like the initial base design of everything. It looks really pretty. I like that they stuck with his facial profile. Like you can see a lot of, like, renders and stuff of Bale's face. And it's like that side profile, kind of downward glance. And you can kind of see that in, like, the Act 5 cutscene as well. It's really good. I liked it. It was just neat. And they finally fucking put that dumb, obvious thing that he's wearing Tal Rasha's skin on his face. I don't know why people didn't believe that. I was like, oh, fucking no, he's not. Yeah, he is. That's exactly what he was doing, and I love how that cleared that up. I was like, Jesus, I can't believe people still thought that. Like that it wasn't, you know what I mean? I'm like, wow. That was dumb. I didn't think Diablo's transformation was as good as it could have been, but it was still pretty cool. I liked Tal Rasha's design. He looks less like a blurry mess of a couple of lines, so I can say that his design was actually pretty good. It made me feel like, oh, those are his tendrils, not just mummy wrappings or something. I don't know, like, because in the original cutscene, it just looks like it's kind of like wires or something, and I don't know. Like, you don't really get the impression that it's like Bale's tentacles or something, like, whatever. It was cool. I liked it. I mean, I can't complain too much. Overall, I'd say they did a good job on the cutscenes, and that's all I really cared about, because I'm like, it's just Diablo 2, man. I'm playing the same game you're playing right now if you're playing Resurrected. And they even have that little handy-dandy little switch key that you can check, so yeah, big deal. I'm just not worried about remakes. I really do think that Insane Trilogy is like the definition of how you do a remaster. I should say remaster, because it's technically what it is. But like, yeah, I mean, Vicarious Visions handled it and they did a really good job with it, and I liked it. They did have different voice actors, but I'm like, yeah, dude, they're probably either dead or they don't want to do it. Like, I don't know why people get so snippy about, like, it's not the same voice. It's like, it's not a big deal. So, cool. I thought it was pretty good. I love Insane Trilogy, and I actually screwed up in my YouTube video where I mentioned it was, ooh! Alright, everything gets serious as soon as I see this. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and identify this shit. Wouldn't that be awesome if it was a 5-socket phase blade? Oh, that would be so cool. So please let it be one. I just want to get one so I don't have to keep looking for one. Or crafting one. It's a pain in the ass. Actually, no joke. Let's look at this real fast. I've crafted like 3 of these. And I can't craft this either because you can't craft Superior. Look at this bullshit. 3s and 6s and 4s. It's just... This is horse shit. This better be a fucking 5-socket. Okay, moving on. So yeah, I thought that the new cutscenes were great. And I thought that, like, Insane Trilogy was cool. I liked it a lot. I will play it on the channel if you guys really want me to, because it's like... Yeah, it's one of my favorite, like, games, probably in the last couple of years, because it's so good. It was so hard not the game, but it was so hard to find a proper version of Crash that doesn't involve having to fucking own a game console. Like, I own Crash 1. I used to own a demo with Crash 1, and I had a friend that had Crash 3, and I had Crash 2. So, for me, it was so cool, like, to be able to actually play the games I actually only partially played as a kid. So it was really gratifying, and they were really fun. And of course, they added, like, bonus levels here and there. I don't know how many they have now, but when I last played, they had an extra level in, oh, they had the Sunset Vista, like, extra level. I did get a Platinum Relic on that. It was the one that was the beta that was, like, way too hard or whatever. If you guys don't believe me, you can look up my Steam profile, and you can see that I actually have gotten, like, every single achievement. I think I have screenshots as well of all the Platinums and stuff I got in Insane Trilogy. It was very fun, and, yeah, I absolutely love that. I think that's how you make a very good remaster. Like, the quality of life stuff doesn't really interest me as much. It's if they just keep the integrity of the game, and they did. And they added little extra things that were nifty. You see, that's what I mean, like, it didn't change the core game, but they added stuff into it that was more geared towards people that have already finished the game 100 times. So, like, in Crash 2 and 3, sorry, Crash 2 and 1, they added Relic Trials, which was dope. I mean, that was pretty cool. Like, I fucking love time trials, if you couldn't tell, as a speedrunner myself. So it's like, yeah, adding, like, speedrunning incentive was so fucking cool. Like, especially Crash 2, because I love Crash 2. It's my favorite in the entire series. I like 3 a lot, but 1 is just so much better. I think 1 and 2 are just the best. 3 is good, but it's not my favorite. I think 3 just has a little too much it tries to do, whereas I think Crash 2 was like... Alright, Crash 1 was like the prototype, and then like Crash 2 was like the, okay, here's how to fucking do it. And I really, really love Crash 2. Like, the mechanics, the game feel, it's so fucking tight. Like, Crash 2, even on the PS1, is one of the most tight fucking games I've ever played. I say that and Sly Cooper 1. I'd say both... I'd say all 3 of the Sly games have insanely tight control. Like, that is a series that has just some of the most amazing game feel I've ever felt. Like, I can't even express how good that shit feels. Like, when you're playing Sly Cooper, if you fuck up, it's totally your fault. And, like, in Crash 2, the game is so tight, and the game is so... It's simple. I think that's what makes Crash 2 very fun, is it takes the simplicity of Crash 1, and then it just kind of works with that formula, and it really works. Like, if you've ever played it, it's just, like, the same kind of level archetypes, but just, like, harder. I mean, that's what all the games were like in the first place, but... I really, really like Crash 2. I think it has a fantastic soundtrack. I think, yeah, there was a difference in the hitboxes. That's true. If you have played Crash 2 vanilla, like I have as much as I did, it's a drastic difference. Like, you totally feel like if you've played it before, you're like, okay, something's not quite right. It was, they made the hitboxes for Crash's feet the collision, basically, so if you kind of just barely graze something in Crash 2, you kind of always hit it, right? But, oh, excuse me, if you did it in Crash Insane Trilogy, it was very lenient, or it had no leniency, I should say. It was very fucking unforgiving. If you messed up, it was brutal. Lightning resist, AR, no thanks. Yeah, it was like, oh god, man, if you've played it, you just know. I don't want to spawn here. Oh, this is the worst. I hate this setup. I don't want to be in this. So as long as Infector doesn't spawn... Okay, I think I can... No, yeah, there we go. Perfect. That's all I got Durga in here for. I'm not even kidding. He can die for all I care. Okay, nah. I want him to live. I spent 50k on you. I almost said 50 GP. Wow. So yeah, I was gonna say that Crash 2, just perfect. And Crash 1, I think, just is a solid platformer. It's like the example, I think, of how to make a solid and fun platformer that's really challenging and really fun. The fucking... Oh, man, but it was like... I remember my ex was just like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "No, the fucking time trials this game are bullshit." It was great. She just didn't kind of care, but yeah, it was funny to me because I'm like, "Oh, it's not." She's like, "But you already finished the game." I'm like, I want to fucking do the... I want to beat the hard mode. Like, it's something I love to do in games. It's something that I always like to do. If a game has a hard mode, I want to play it. That's all there is to it. And I don't generally play games on hard mode if they're imbalanced, I guess. But if the game's like challenges are fun, I totally want to do it. And I'd certainly say Insane Trilogy is fantastic. And hey, look, it's Diablo! Shake, shake, shake. Ooh! It's the Lord of Terror.
Death can save you from me.
Oh, really? We'll just see about that now. Well, let's see how fast I can shred Diablo's HP. So if you thought I was kidding when I said Diablo is an absolute pushover once you have the right gear, I'm not kidding. Diablo is one of the easiest bosses to fight for a melee character like a paladin. Alright, so we're gonna do a little... Get out of here, evil force. I don't need you in my life. Okay, so... Let's go ahead and do a little bit of cheese because I really do want better items, so... I'm gonna do something that is not advisable. It works, and that's why I'm gonna do it. So normally you should do this when you're like, you know, actually making a Magic Find character. Me, I'm not. I'm just horsing around. This is something I do for fighting Diablo because I just want to get better items like ASAP. I do not recommend doing what I'm doing. It's a very dangerous and stupid idea, but it works. I just spent 100 grand. Alright, so let's not beat around the bush. Oh, I made an incredible mistake. Oh, God. Let's not die here. This could be really bad. This went really wrong. I'm comfortable with this. I was hoping I could distract him. Mr. Diablo, please. Okay, we'll just... You know, this isn't how I expected this to work, because it's not how it works ever. I just... Fine. I'll use the weapon that I actually know does damage to him. There, he's dead. Okay, so that's one really cheesy way to get, like, a lot of items. So, let's get rid of this damn mess of a fucking... Get out of here. There, thank you. So we did get a Burning Essence, that's cool. A two-hander and an Assassin Blade. Wow.
I can't.
Wow. That is absolutely not what I wanted, right? So this is going to be garbage no matter what, and this is going to be something I can't even use. The Story of Diablo, right?
Good evening.
So what did I get? I already think I had that sword. I'm already looking at it. I don't think I've gotten this before, so this is pretty new. I've never actually made an assassin in my entire time playing D2. Yeah, I've already got one of these. I'm pretty, like, 99% certain. And we'll throw the essence in there, because why not? But yeah, you can see that's a lot of XP. I didn't die or anything, so it was like, it's fine. Yeah, Diablo himself, really quite easy. It's a lot scarier in your mind, because you're like, oh, he's the guy on the box, he's the big bad guy. And he's really quite easy. As long as you've got the resistances for cold down, and you've got your, you know, cold and lightning and fire, or well, lightning and fire particular, the most important, and cold is kind of secondary once you get really high level, like items like having a Raven Frost or something. So it's really quite good, and having a lot of Deadly Strike, Crushing Blow, Open Wounds, a fast IAS, and you've probably got the ability to chop Diablo's dick right in half. So, yeah, that's not really that bad. So yeah, that's going to be this video. I'm going to do Act 5, thank God, because I want to get on with it and start doing bail runs. So, I'll see you in the next one.